Shalom and greetings, everybody. Brother Nicholas James Vanderlane, victory for the people of Israel from by the narrow path, which are Yeshua's 10 commandments. Today is the 28th day of the 12th month, March 15th, 2020. This video is being presented from the country of Cyprus, and this video is about a spring equinox rapture. Isaiah 26:20 says, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. For behold, Yahweh cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain." Psalm 19, verse 4 to 5 says, "In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race." And the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 15 through 16, "Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children, and those that suck the breast. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet." So these verses all have chamber associated with the verse. In one of my recent videos I did, this one recently, Enoch calendar, spring equinox equal the sun's tabernacle. The sun is on a circuit. I explained how the tabernacle for the sun, the chamber for the sun, is the day of the spring equinox. And then the sun comes out and runs his race. So in them he hath set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber. So the chamber is the tabernacle, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. I believe I was given the interpretation by the Spirit of Truth to interpret Psalm 19, verse 4 to 5 as the spring equinox. Hallelujah. All praise to the Father and the Son. And you should watch that video, get familiar with Yahweh Elohim's solar calendar. This is a picture of King Hezekiah's bulla or seal, and as you can see, it's a winged sun, and you can see this Ankh, which is a symbol of life. His life was extended to him, and the sun went back, 15 steps of Ahaz's sundial. So here we have a picture of a winged sun, and we have the Ankh, the symbol of life, for King Hezekiah and his bulla. I talk about this bulla in one of my videos called Elijah and the Son of Righteousness Rapture. Here again is King Hezekiah's seal, his bulla, and Malachi 4:2 says, "But to you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in his wings, and you will break out leaping like calves released from the stall." And again, here we see the Ankh. And this Ankh symbol, it looks to me like it is a sun on the horizon, like the Hebrew letter Kuf of the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. The Kuf represented, it was pictograph Hebrew, and the Kuf was a picture of the sun on the horizon. So here we see the sun on the horizon. The Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in his wings. When does this sun rise? The sun rises on the horizon with healing in his wings. This appears to me possibly be the spring equinox. And here's the rest of Malachi chapter 4. This is me with my family when I started my journey a couple of years back. Us in Egypt here at a pillar that is possibly erected by King Solomon here in Egypt, Sinai, Egypt, to commemorate the Israelites' crossing of the Red Sea. "For behold, that day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and that day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith Yahweh of hosts. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and the judgments. So what is the law of Moses, my servant? The 10 Commandments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yahweh. And he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. And turning the hearts of the fathers to the children is the 10 Commandments. And the hearts of the children to their fathers is the 10 Commandments. This is all about the 10 Commandments, people, and the seventh-day Sabbath is of the 10 Commandments. Christians, we're called to keep the seventh-day Sabbath sanctified, to remember it, that it is important to Yahweh your Elohim, and keep it sanctified, keep it holy, Kodesh to him. And the Sabbath day is not the Gregorian Sabbath as we have misunderstood it for all those thousands of years. Yahweh Elohim's calendar was prophesied that it would become lost, and it's been restored in these end times. We have his Enoch solar calendar in the book of Enoch that was preserved for the last generation. John chapter 11, verse 9, this is Yeshua speaking when he was about to raise Lazarus from the dead. He said, quote, "Are there not 12 hours in the day? If a man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world." Day. Well, when is there 12 hours in the day? On the spring equinox. That's when there's 12 hours in a day. It's also in the fall equinox, but that's for possibly another video 6 months from now. Matthew 24:20 says, "But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day." So I'm going to go ahead and share with you from my Enoch calendar. This is the spreadsheet, but here is the Enoch calendar. It's 364 days, and then there's a day for the sun. But every fourth year, there is an additional day for that 0.24 or 0.25 day times 4 that you have to account for, which is a leap day. And then the following day after the leap day is the first day of the first month. So this year, we have two things. One, the day prior, the 364th day, it's a day of the season, and it marks the day of the coming of the day of spring. So winter has ended after this day. This is the last day of winter. I would understand it. And Yeshua said, pray that your flight be not in the winter. And here it's not in the winter. And he also said, pray that your flight be neither on the Sabbath day. Well, not only are these purple days on my calendar Sabbaths, these are the weekly Sabbaths, but the first day of the month is also a Sabbath day. It's the Rosh Chodesh, the head of the month, which is a Sabbath type day. So it wouldn't be here if it was. It looks like here you have it. Now, Master Yeshua said, but of that day and hour knoweth no man. No, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So here we don't know the day, and that's what's so interesting. The season ends here, winter ends here, and we have 2 days. We don't know the day that this event is going to happen. The Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in his wings. This is the day of the spring equinox, and I would lean more so that it would be this day that I'm looking at. And what's so interesting about this day is that as the first day of the first month is when the tabernacle was set up. I did a video on this right here. Enoch calendar. Tabernacle was a sundial. Tabernacle was set up on the first day of the first month. So the tabernacle was raised on the first day of the first month, and then all of the holy vessels, all of the gold in holy vessels were all brought in and arranged inside the tabernacle on the first day of the first month. Do not you know that we are the temple of the living Elohim? For the tabernacle to be set up on the first day of the first month, that means that everything had to be prepared beforehand. Everything had to be in place beforehand. So that means more than likely that this event would probably happen before the first day of the first month, and then everything would be organized, and the tabernacle would be set up on the first day of the first month. Today, there's a lot more on this day. I did another video about the spring equinox, which everybody should watch, which I found in the scriptures that the spring equinox is the day when kings go out for war. It doesn't mean that war is going to happen on the spring equinox, on this day, or on this day, but this is the day that the kings go out for war. And I imagine that war is probably going to start on March 21st or after. We'll see what happens. I believe that Yahweh Elohim will obviously be the catalyst to this event. It could happen on March 19th or 20th, which is the Iranian celebration of Nowruz, which is a very big festival. And I plan to be making a video about that. Things are kind of lining up for the possibility. And here we have the rider of the red horse, which is, I suspect, to ride in when? Well, it just so happens on the spring equinox, as you can see, I did a video right here called Heavenly Rapture Signs. Here we see a Mars-Jupiter conjunction on these 3 days. And the conjunction, so we see the Jupiter, which is the man-child star, plus the red planet, which has been symbolized with war star, in the bowman, in the horseman, the rider with the bow, which I did a video on right here, the spring equinox, the heavenly rapture signs of 2020. And the rider of the red horses, and this basically was a video 40 days prior to the first day of the first month, and regarding the rider of the red horse, which is war, which is when kings go out to war. The rider of the red horse, that is the second seal, and that is war. So that is actually when kings go out for war, and there's a heavenly sign on the spring equinox. I strongly suggest that you watch these videos. So I'll be leaving a link for this official Enoch calendar from 2019 to 2029 here in the description. You can come here and take a look at the first day of the first month, and you can read for yourself all of these. And here we have the prophet Enoch. He lived for 365 years, and he was taken. He walked with Elohim, and he was taken. He was no more. And that happens, so after he lived 365 years. So what happens after 365? The 366. And he was taken, and he was no more. So is this the day of the escape right here? The door shuts. The bridal door is supposed to shut. And shut thy doors about thee. And when does the door, what is the symbol for the door? The letter for the door, the pictograph letter of the ancient Paleo Hebrew for the door is the Dalet, which is the fourth letter, which is also the fourth day of the week. So is the door going to shut before right here before the fourth day of the week? And then the door shuts, they're shut in, and then that's the escape, and then this happens? We'll see. So brothers and sisters, pray always that you're accounted worthy to escape and stand before the Son of Man. What this rapture event is going to look like, I don't know. I imagine that a rapture door possibly is going to appear, and that we're going to have to go through that door. Do not look back like Lot's wife. That door will shut behind you. Don't go back to get your bags or belongings and go through it. And I believe that this possibly could be the escape. If not, we have the Passover. And like I said in this video, there's a lot more of heavenly rapture signs coming up. But right now I'm seeing all the agricultural signs for this event to happen. And so, which I'll hopefully be making another video on possibly. I have a big list of videos, not a lot of time left, trying to get a whole bunch of videos done. Basically a video marathon the next few days here. So love you all, brothers and sisters. And again, pray always that you're kind of worthy to escape all these things that are coming on the face of the earth and stand before the Son of Man. And shalom to you all who have the testimony of Yeshua and keep the commandments of Elohim.